This Conscious Parenting Live is about trusting your intuition and your expertise. So, I very much believe that you, as a parent, are the expert in your child. Like, you're the one that knows them best. You're the one that spends the most time with them. You're the one who has that history with them. You've birthed them, you've brought them up, you've nurtured them, and so you know them best. And you know, experts might tell you certain things, and you might think, I don't think that's quite right, but they're the expert, and I think it's really important to to embrace that your intuition is powerful and your expertise in your child is really powerful. That you know them best. And the work that I do as with the parents that I work with is really to empower you with skills and support you around your thoughts and feelings, which is called mindset often. Um, but also to help you develop that trust and intuition, that trust in yourself. And I do help parents with consistency, because when it comes to parenting, consistency is really important. Um, but I am reading a book at the moment, and that consistency can be used um, in terms of doing things that feel out of alignment. So this is the thing, is to check in with the advice that I'm getting. Does it fit? If it fits for you and it feels good for you and it feels good for your child, and it's working, keep doing it. If it doesn't, find something different that works for you and your child. Because there's a lot of advice out there. There's a lot of parenting models that are based on rewards and punishments and naughty steps and timeouts and all of those things. And if you're somebody who's wanting to follow a gentle and more conscious parenting approach, those will not feel in alignment with you. And they probably won't work for your child, or they're not working for your child, because I could go more deeply into these kind of parenting approaches, and they do work to a certain degree, but that comes at a cost. And it comes at a cost. Part of that cost is the trust that you and your child have together. They can destroy that trust. So it's really important to find approaches that not only work, but also feel in alignment, that feel good to you and your child. So that is something that I do. That's what my work is about, right? So I wanted to share today also a story with you of what I mean, why I'm talking about this experts thing as well. So I had a situation when my youngest um, was really struggling with severe eczema and allergies, um, but mostly severe eczema, because we didn't know what she was allergic to. She was clearly allergic to things, but we didn't know what was causing the severity of her skin condition, which affected everything. It affected all of our family life, um, and was really difficult. Um, and I've just been reading a book at the moment, and it made me think about this, because the mum in the book was describing how, she would speak to other parents, and to see if they were experiencing a similar thing and feeling very alone. And I remember feeling like that. I remember some people's children would have a little bit of eczema or something, and um, but you know, their children and would struggle with sleep, but it would pass. Whereas it was very difficult because, she couldn't sleep because she was so itchy. And all the advice that I was getting, like, we'll leave them to cry for a bit. Well, that's not going to help because the root cause, the reason she can't sleep is, she's so irritated and itchy. How is leaving her to cry going to help? It's just going to leave her on her own, itchy and irritated. So, um, I could see it didn't make any sense, but I was told that so many times. I was told it by health visitors, um, and yeah, they just didn't understand. And yeah, and there were times when things got very, very difficult for us, and we probably did some things that we didn't feel in alignment, um, through listening to experts, and but mostly we kept with our common sense and we kept trusting our intuition, which was, it makes no sense. Some of the things they're telling us, therefore, we're not going to do them, you know. Um, and, you know, as parents, you might also have uh, doctors or health professionals who actually aren't even being helpful. So in our situation, we had a GP that we realized after much later, after like 2.5, actually 4 years, it was much later that I realized just how obstructive this GP had been. So our GP, we kept going back to the GP, um, and he kept giving us not great advice and sending us away. And eventually, after a couple of years, he did refer us to a pediatrician, but he didn't refer us where we needed to be, which was dermatology, because she had, a skin condition. Um, and it was only when our younger daughter was born and had the same uh, issues with her skin, and we went to this GP again, that he said if I referred every child with eczema, I'd be referring people every day. And I was like, so you should be referring them. If they need the help, then you should be referring them. And it was only then that I realized that he had been actively not referring us to where we needed to be. And he did refer us to a pediatrician who had no clue what was going on. He had no clue, didn't seem to understand what he was doing. Our daughter's glands were up for a long time, for about a year. And he didn't understand why either. When we eventually got to dermatology, and we were referred by another doctor, like not that particular doctor, we saw somebody else, and they referred us. When we finally got there, we saw a dermatology nurse who was like, oh yeah, when your child has eczema, often their glands are up because their whole system is overloaded. So their glands will be up until it all calms down, until they're not flared, because it affects their whole system. So their glands can be up in different places because of that. This doctor didn't know that. The pediatrician didn't know that. This expert dermatology nurse was amazing. She did know that because she's been working in that field and she was an expert in that field. And we got referred to the right people, with the people who have the right knowledge to support us, and things then improved. But, this was 2.5 years into our little girl's life. So we'd had a really tough 2.5 years, and things were still difficult, but at least we were in the right place and we were getting support that we could trust and rely on. And that did help. And that did help. And we got allergy testing and all this stuff, all this support that we'd actually needed and could have had way sooner had we not been thwarted, really, and obstructed by that GP's particular beliefs, you know? So the reason I share this story is really to remind you again to trust your intuition and trust your instinct. So if you are thinking there's something with your child that's, something wrong with your child, or something going on, that and they're not getting the support they need, you're not getting the support you need, keep going, keep going. Find your tribe and the people that can support you with the right expertise and advice, so yeah, so that would be my advice, really, from my experience. Keep going, finding your tribe bit is so important. Being around other parents who are experiencing similar things to you is so, so powerful. And that's one of the gifts that my first child gave me, who um he was stillborn, and we got a lot of support around that time and that grieving process. And I always think of, that's one of the gifts that he gave us through his short life, was the power of finding your tribe. And throughout my life since then, I have been more conscious about the power of finding the support that I need, the people who are going through a similar thing, who can who can support you. So, as always, I hope you have found this helpful, reassuring, with this one particularly, to trust yourself, trust your instinct, trust yourself. You are the expert when it comes to your child. And, with, um, when you develop a toolkit of skills and knowledge to help you as well, that also obviously makes a big difference. And if you're not sure what kind of support you need right now, do reach out, do get in touch. One of the things that I am amazing at is helping you find clarity around what is going on for you right now with your child, and how and where you need to go, to get that support, whether that's with me or someone else. So I do offer calls to help you get clarity around your situation, the challenges that you're facing. And of course, I do let you know how I can support you, but there's no hard sell or anything like that. And, if I feel that, you need support somewhere else, I will point you in the direction of where that is. I know incredible experts around potty training and sleep and trauma and all kinds of different things. So, I'll point you in the direction of where you can get the support that you need. Um, so yeah, so if you found this episode helpful today, please do subscribe to the channel, leave a comment to let me know what 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 you enjoyed about it, what you found helpful, and make sure you share it with someone else. Share it with a friend, share it with a family member who might need to hear this right now. Yeah, so I'm going to leave you there, and make sure you do subscribe to the channel for more conscious parenting lives.